gods, but you are labeling as one. That's where the problem is of incoherence.
I'll just go with that. It'll be incoherent from what you just said.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Islamic concept of God, do you find it coherent or incoherent?
Coherent. I find it coherent.
Yeah, fine. That's good. That's good. So that's what we're saying. Something that is true has to be coherent.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people will believe in contradictions. People will believe in anything. It doesn't make sense. People will believe in things which goes against logic and rationality and reason, and they just believe, yeah, God exists and God doesn't exist. That's my God.
Yeah. But can I ask you this though? Can God do anything though? Well, let me start by saying, is God all powerful?
God has power over all things. Yes. So in that sense, God is all powerful, meaning He has power over all things. There's nothing greater than Him in power, more powerful than Him in any way, shape or form. So when we say He's all powerful, He has or possesses power and ability, and there's no limitation and restrictions of that power, and nothing can overpower Him.
Right, so He has no limitations.
His power has no limits, if you want to consider it that way. It's when we talk about power, it's perfect in that description. So there's no deficiency in that power. There's no restrictions, limits, or deficiencies. We say He's free from any deficiencies and weaknesses in the attributes that God has as. Having the ability of power or having abilities, we say there is no weakness or deficiencies and limitations in that.
Right. My view, I'll look at it as this, God is all powerful and He has no limits. So if He's all powerful and He has no limits, then He can do anything.
When you say anything, so let's understand what you mean by anything. God, when God does an action, you have to categorize what these actions that are possible to happen in reality and the actions that are impossible to happen in reality.
But if He's all powerful, then nothing will be impossible for Him.
No, that's what you think, that's by definition it is. But whenever, for example, if I were to say to you, in your conception of God, having all the power, can He create a God exactly like Him?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
And how is that exactly like Him? Because did He have a beginning?
No, but it was God.
Yeah,
he had no
good. So when you create something, would it have a beginning or would it have no beginning? The moment you create it, it would have a beginning. So when you say, can God create a God like Him with no beginning, it becomes nonsensical, because whenever you create something, it has a beginning. So how can you create something with no beginning, like God? So you can answer that question now. God having all the power, do you entertain this understanding that He can bring about a creator like Him exactly, because He's got the power? You will say,
He did in a sense, because He created Jesus. Well, actually, no, He didn't. Sorry, He didn't create Jesus. Jesus was begotten from Him. Jesus came from His substance.
Yeah. So if we were to believe that, can He create another God like Him, uncreated? Do you see the contradiction in the question? Can God create something that is uncreated?
So can He create an eternal being that existed?
Can He create something that is uncreated? It's a contradiction in terms. So that's why the power doesn't come in equation, because the whole thing that you're trying to bring is an impossible existence. So we need to really think about when you ask of God that He's able to do things, you have to understand whether this is something possible or impossible. God doesn't do things which are ungodly. God, in His nature, being God, He does things which befits His nature, and that's our position, and I'm sure that's your position too.
But also, in that sense, so then I could say that God is limited then? Or?
That's not limited. That's what God is. The moment you overstep that, you bring God into being non-God or something impossible or contradictory. We have to understand what we are talking about. If we say God is eternal and everlasting, then somebody saying, can God cease to exist if He wanted to? It's a meaningless question. It's a rhetoric. Because you affirm at one hand, God is everlasting with no end. Then how can you affirm that He can cease to exist, while you affirm that He has no end? And yet you want to have him an end? Contradictions again. These kind of things is not applicable to God, because God is by his nature what he is. By asking questions that will go against his nature will not be a meaningful question.
Okay, but then I would say that maybe then God can create another eternity, and then maybe create another eternal being somehow, if he's all powerful.
Now,
because
whatever God creates will have a beginning. It might have a longer end or no end, but it will have a beginning. Like you and I, we will have no end according to our beliefs, right? Our soul will live on, either in heaven or hell. Yeah? So in that sense, we have an eternal life. But we don't have pre-eternal existence. We had a beginning. At one point, we did not exist at all. Okay? God brought us into existence. God brought the creation to existence. So the moment you say, can God create something that had no beginning, it's a meaningless question. It doesn't make any sense. That's why, can God do this and this, needs to be understood, and in the question of what do we mean in our question? Is our question meaningful? So the best way to affirm is God does things which is godly. God does things which is according to his nature.
I would say it's a contradiction according to us, because we are subject to the laws of logic, laws of nature. So we are subject to contradictions, but not God. He's outside, because he's outside of his creation. Because God created the laws of logic,
okay,
laws of nature. So he's not subject to them.
Yeah. So you're saying, if we overstep these laws of logic, God can cease to exist if he wanted to.
No, what I'm saying is it's a conundrum. You know, it's a difficult question to answer. But
this law of logic we are bound by. God is not, according to you. Fine. So let's go beyond this human logic and then ask this question whether it's meaningful. In your conception of God, who is eternal and everlasting, can he cease to exist tomorrow and then he's no more anymore?
He can both exist and not exist.
No. He ceases to exist.
That's what, can he cease to exist?
And no more. That's it. There's no God. He's done with.
Existing is not actually an attribute. Really.
Can he cease to exist, meaning his own existence, he makes it disappear? Because you believe God can do anything. That's part of an action, according to you.
No, I said do anything in terms of attributes, in terms of
doing things, right?
Yeah,
can he do on his life and have an end in his life?
But that's not an action. That's what I'm saying to you. It's not existing. Like,
does he have life? Does he have life?
With God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he stop his life?
Oh, can he stop his life? Okay,
yeah.
That's something different.
Yeah.
Can he stop his life? I'd say he can both stop his life and not stop his life at the same time.
Right. Can he stop his life and that's it? He's no longer there anymore. Do you see the problem of this kind of thinking?
He could do that if he was to probably change his nature, and then.
So once he does that, he will be no longer there, right?
No, but
right. Was he everlasting in the beginning first? Was he everlasting to begin with?
Yeah, but doing that, having the ability to do that and actually doing it is two separate things. I'm saying he wouldn't do that. But I'm saying
when you said he was everlasting to begin with, right, what did it mean? That he would always be there? So now you're bringing in contradiction and saying he can change his nature and be not everlasting.
Existing from eternity means that he's existed from eternity. See, when we say he's everlasting, that means he will always last, he will always live. So that's two different things.
Can he stop knowing?
Can he stop knowing?
Yeah.
I'll say he can both stop knowing and know at the same time.
It doesn't make any sense. Either he stops knowing and he doesn't know, or because he knows, because he has no deficiency, he knows everything and there's no stopping of his knowledge.
Well, okay, I'll say that he can stop knowing if he changed his nature. So, and then he would stop knowing. Yeah, he could do that if he was to change his nature.
Can he change his nature?
Yeah, he can. Because he's all powerful. See, remember I said could do it, could like doing it and choosing is two separate things. I'm saying he wouldn't do that, but I'm saying he could do that because he's all powerful.
So he can go against his nature because he has got the power.
Yeah.
So the power dominates over him. He doesn't even dominate over the power. Power dominates over him.
Not necessarily power to do with ability. He has the ability.
No, the ability dominates him. He doesn't dominate ability, you're saying.
No, he has control over his power. That's why.
No. If he has control over his power, how can he then disempower himself and cease to exist, for example, and not know and not do things?
No, but again, it's due to having the ability. Having the ability to do it is not, doesn't mean that it dominates him. It just means he has the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Having the power.
Yeah.
Because he has control over his power.
If he has control over his power, how can the power overpower him and he can cease to exist?
Oh, he has his own will. He doesn't, nothing overpowers him.
Okay. Do you understand what a necessary being is? Something that has to necessarily exist.
Yeah. Something that's unconditionally independent for us to exist. Yeah.
If we exist now, something has to exist always. There's nothing in the entire imagination of the world where that necessary being will become non-existent, just because you exist today.
So then maybe we would, if he was to cease to exist, then we would probably cease to exist as well.
All your existence demonstrates there is a necessary existence. Has to be always there.
Yeah, for us to exist, yeah, it has to be there. But that doesn't detract from the fact that he can stop existing. Because again, he's all powerful. If you say he can't do that, then you're limiting God. Really.
So
power means having no power.
Say again,
if you are limiting God in the lower limit, you are meaning the powerfulness or ability to do something in a lower limit. Lower limit means mean things, like we do not say that maybe you can do little bit of lifting a 5 kilo ball or ball of iron or kind of thing, but you do not do that. Or a ant can do something, you do not do that, you know. So that does not mean that you are limited in the sense that your nature does not permit you.
You're talking about choosing to do something.
Yes, choosing to do something.
Right.
But the problem is that my understanding is that why do
He's
you
saying
say
that he can't do it.
You
I'm saying in fact your point agrees with what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
Let me say.
That's a choice.
So you are saying that doing something mean or something very bad is powerfulness. I mean, is glory, is honor, and the honorable ability.
Because if you have an all-powerful God, then He can do all things. That's what I'm saying. And
He can.
That means all things and all attributes.
So power means going against honor or glory. Does power mean going against glory?
Power means going against glory.
Yeah.
So if he was to
Does power mean going against power, or does power mean having powerlessness?
but if he was to exercise his power, that would show his glory. So he's being glorified by using his power.
So if he loses all the power, does that mean that this is a show of his power? I mean, the manifestation of his power.
So basically, you're saying, can God lose his power?
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Then he's not powerful. Then
not powerful.
he's not all powerful. Do you understand what we're saying?
No, but
Losing power is not a manifestation of your power. Power means you have the ability not to lose power. Just imagine, you're saying he's so all powerful that he can be less than all powerful. That's not powerful, being powerful. All powerful is not to be less powerful. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Otherwise, you need not have any term powerful or powerfulness. Powerful or powerfulness. You should not distinguish these terms or attributes, whether powerfulness and powerlessness. You will not make any distinction, any difference. So
if I said he was to get rid of his power, then is that the same thing? Losing power, get rid of it? Because that's a powerful thing. To lose his power.
No, so that was power, but being lost of all this power, is this godly act?
It would be a powerful act to lose his to get rid of his power.
Let's just to be wealthy is to have wealth. What you're saying is, to be wealthy is to get rid of all the wealth. To be powerful is to get rid of all the power. That's not what being powerful is. Being powerful is to possess that power, not to lose it. You're saying God exercises his power and he ceases to have that power. That's not being all powerful. Let me get you step by step. We want to understand what all powerful means. All powerful means who's all the power. Let's understand something that is less than all powerful. Someone who's less than all powerful is, there are certain things he cannot do. Someone who's even less all powerful is something less. We come to a point where it's 0% powerful. That 0% powerful is not all powerful. Do you agree?
Yeah, if someone has 0% power,
it's not all powerful. So when God becomes devoid of any power, having 0% power, that's not being 100% powerful, all percent powerful.
But I'm saying to you that to diminish his power would be a powerful thing.
No. If you diminish yourself to 0% power, that's not being in a position of all power.
But then, like I said, being able to do something and actually doing it is two separate things.
No, it's not about that. Even in the metaphysical concept-wise, being 0% powerful is not being 100% all-powerful.
That would be the outcome if he was to give up his power or diminish it.
Then he's not all-powerful, because an all-powerful means there will be never a case of 0% powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, but
then the question doesn't arise. He can cease to exist.
But what I'm saying to you is, before we get to that situation, if, like I said, if he can't do that, then he's not all powerful because he can't do all
No, I'm
things.
saying to say he can do is meaningless. We need to know what we're talking about. We have to have meaning in our discussions and questions and so on. If it's not meaningful, then it's just rhetorical things, mumbo jumbo, wishy-washy statements. The example, for example, I can give is
I think that's a lady.
You have 5.5 wings that you fly with, or 3 wings that you fly with. You fly, right? 5.5 wings have you got, or 3 wings?
I think it's a non-answer what you're saying. I mean, I don't.
Is it meaningful? Is that question meaningful?
To have 500 wings.
No. You fly with 5.5 wings or 3 wings, I ask you. And the answer is? I gave you 2 options, 5.5 and 3 wings.
But there's 3 wings in. If I have 5 wings and I have 3 wings, it's part.
Do you fly?
Do I fly? No, I don't.
Do you have wings?
No.
Good. So when I ask you, how many wings do you fly with? 5.5 or 3?
This is a hypothetical, right?
It's a question.
I don't fly, no.
I didn't ask you, do you fly?
Right.
My question is, how many wings do you fly with? 5.5 or 3? It's a multiple choice question with 2 options only.
None.
The question,
I don't fly.
then there is no option of none. The options only are 5.5 or 3.
For somebody who does fly wings, yeah.
No, you. I asked a question and I want an answer.
I said I don't fly though.
But did I ask you, do you fly? In my question, I'm not asking you, do you fly? My question is straightforward, direct. How many wings do you fly with? 5.5 wings or 3 wings? You would say this question is meaningless. It doesn't require an answer because it's a faulty question. You're not going to talk about like I don't fly and so on, because you don't fly, we know that. Likewise, you can't ask this meaningless question about God. Oh, God is so all-powerful, he can do this X, Y, and Z. These are all meaningless statements, rhetorics.
I will add that you can ask meaningless question, but never expect that whatever the answer be, you can have from this answer a consistent understanding or
it's
conclusion.
It's not meaningless to say that God is all-powerful and that he can do
all-powerful doesn't mean to have no power. You're contradicting.
I think
all-powerful. No, when you say all-powerful,
he loses all the power. He becomes. He ceases to
be all-powerful.
God, powerful God.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. After that.
So then he is not God anymore.
He's not all-powerful anymore.
but then if he, like I said, if he can't get rid of his power, then he has limits.
Let's understand our all-powerfulness. Does all-powerfulness mean being less than all-powerful?
Does all-powerful mean no?
There you go.
Does all-powerful mean less than?
Does all-powerful means being less than all-powerful? Does all-knowledgeable means being less than all-knowledgeable and becoming ignorant? It doesn't mean that. You have to reject the opposite.
We can come with all these hypothetical.
Not hypothetical. These are real, because this is how we reject false conception of God.
No,
in a concept of God in which it says God is all knowledgeable and yet became ignorant, we reject that concept because it's meaningless.
That's another topic. But again, as your finite understanding will be a contradiction. Because like I said, you're subject to the laws of contradiction.
That's how we are.
But God is not. That's what I'm saying. If God is subject to his own laws, then he wouldn't be God.
So you can believe in a God that exists and don't exist at the same time, right? So basically, basically, you cannot reject any conception of God made by anyone, because you cannot use the logic of this world. If somebody says, I believe in a God that exists and doesn't exist at the same time, I believe in a monkey God, I believe in a rat God, I believe in a dinosaur God, you cannot reject it.
That's a version.
No. You cannot reject that concept of God. You cannot reject it.
That's
okay.
That's not to do with ontology.
Shiva and Parvati, that's true God.
You're talking about versions of God. I'm talking about ontology.
I'm not talking about versions. I'm giving you a concept of God.
A monkey.
God the father, husband, and God the wife. Okay, and God the son Ganesh, half elephant, half man. I mean, how he came is a different story. So there's the three gods in there.
Hindu God, right? You're talking about.
If I said this is the real God, why don't you believe in it?
No, because.
How can you say no?
Because the real God, the Trinity, Triune God, has revealed himself to me through the Bible.
No, that's the other real God. Your God is not a real God. How do you know something is real or not real? What makes
Yeah, can God be in those forms, Shiva, Parvati, and Ganesh?
That goes against what I've been talking about.
Why?
It's not about what goes against.
Why God cannot go in those forms?
In your belief, can God become a God which is Shiva, Parvati, and Ganesh, husband, wife, and son?
He could do.
Yeah. So maybe he's done it already. According to you, how do you know it's not the case?
Because my Bible says he wouldn't do that. That's the thing.
No, it's not about. How do you know Bible is not a false book?
How do I know?
Can God make the Bible false and still give it to you? Yeah, so he could have done that already. How do you know it's true? According to you, God could have given a book called the Bible, knowing it's false, but he wants to make you believe it's true.
My God is not the author of confusion.
That's what you're discussing about.
How do you know that God cannot create confusion?
Can he not create confusion? Is he not all powerful? Is he not all powerful? Yeah. So he could have done exactly that. The Bible saying it's true, but while it's false, to create confusion.
I'm saying he wouldn't do that. When I say he can,
Why do you say he couldn't do that and you wouldn't do that?
Yes. How do you limit that God cannot be a confusion or cannot create confusion?
One second. When I say that God can exist and not exist at the same time, I'm not talking from a finite point of view. I'm talking about from his point of view.
Yeah, that's what we understood. That's what we understood.
Because he can do it.
So outside the laws of logic, God says Bible is false and true at the same time.
And according to his point of view, you have said that he is not limited by logical understanding or kind of thing, our logic. So you have said that God is not bound by our logic or kind of thing, coherence, sense of coherence kind of thing. And then now, when we are asking about your understanding of God, whether that concept allows you to have God different forms, then you are saying no, God cannot create this type of confusion or kind of thing.
I have yet to read a book where he would do that. But right now,
he could have done it already, right? He could have done. He could have given you the Bible, which is actually false, but tells you it's true.
He could have done it.
Yeah. So how do you know he hasn't done that? How can you be certain he hasn't done that? No. How can you be certain he hasn't done that? Because you believe he could have.
He doesn't say that in the Bible.
No, he doesn't need to say. But I'm saying, how are you certain that he hasn't done it?
What you're saying is now an assumption.
No, I want to know, how are you certain that he hasn't done exactly that? In fact, he is Shiva, Parvati and Ganesh. How are you certain?
It goes against his nature to be those things.
You said he can go against his nature.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You
can change his
I'm
nature.
saying he can do it, but I'm saying he wouldn't do it as well. See,
Are you telling him what to do or not to do?
no, that's
Right.
that's your attitude. What I'm saying is that just because someone has the ability to do something doesn't mean they would do it. That's what I keep saying. That's the point I keep trying to make.
So how do you know that God will follow your logic that he will not do? Your understanding, according to
So
you have
my
said
logic
that you
though.
can. No, you are putting those meanings.
You're limiting God by saying
No,
he wouldn't do.
you are limiting
Did you
God
not
by saying
limit?
he can't do it.
Did you not limit God by saying he wouldn't do it?
But we're not just then.
No, you just said he wouldn't do it.
According to the Bible.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wouldn't
So
do
you
it.
are limiting him.
No, see again.
Isn't that a limit?
No, see again.
No, can suppose he has said this in Bible that he will not do these works.
I've been very clear.
Can he violate his promise?
I've been very
Can
clear
God
that
can God violate his
would do
promise?
something. He's not.
Okay,
the
can
same.
God violate his promise?
Can he violate his promise? Yeah.
So why you have no basis, but you cannot claim that in Bible God has promised that he will not change his nature kind of thing, because he can
How
change.
do you know
He
Bible
could-
is corrupted?
He could lie, yeah,
How do you
according
know
to you.
Bible is corrupted?
He could lie.
Who could lie? God?
He could lie. He could go against his nature.
Yeah, so he could have lied and said the Bible is what you're supposed to follow. How can you be certain that he hasn't done that?
See again, we keep,
Allah
we
is
keep,
the best
we keep
of the
going,
deceiver.
we keep going back and
He
forth.
lies.
It's not getting back and forth.
We are showing how
It's the-
your argument leads you towards absurdity and this
I'm
kind of
saying
idea.
that you are limiting God by saying that he
We're not limiting God. We are saying God is what he is. The moment you make God what he's not, that's when the problem
That's
starts.
what you have made. That's
We're
what
saying
you have
God
made.
is what he is, but you're saying God can be other than what he is.
Yeah, but we agree that he's all powerful. That's what we
No,
agree.
your understanding of all powerfulness, I don't agree with. We don't agree with. Because all powerfulness doesn't mean you become less than all powerful. That's not being all powerful.
The word powerful has a certain meaning, and it negates the concept of not having power. You know, certainly. So
Do you
that's
follow
why-
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already discussed.
Yeah,
it. I
yeah.
think we're
So
just
then,
going
then
back
no, no.
and forth.
Then you cannot
We
say
have
God can exercise His power
we have
to
a-
be not powerful.
We have a different idea of
No,
what constitutes that being
What's your name, sorry again?
Samuel.
Samuel. I'm Mansur. This is Brother Sawar. Samuel. Nice to meet you. Pleasure speaking to you. When we say God is powerful, it doesn't mean power means to be not powerful. When you affirm power, you know what power possessor means. But you strip it at the same time, that's not being meaningful. We have to be meaningful in what we discuss and what we understand and what we believe about God. That's why in Islam we have certainty that God is all the truth and always speaking the truth, never would lie.
I'm not going
Yeah,
against him. I'm
it's
saying
not about
he's not-
could.
I'm
Yeah,
saying he's
the
not-
possibility. Look, the possibility of this could doesn't even come into the equation. Why? Because he has a nature that is to be always truthful. But you are saying God can go against his nature. We're saying no. God doesn't go against his nature. It doesn't befit him to go against his nature because God is not a deficient entity.
Me saying he has the ability to do it, it's not saying he would do it, go against his nature. And the thing you're left with, if God's all powerful, then that means he can do everything. You see, that's the conundrum that we're left with. If you say that he can't do everything, then you're limiting God.
Is limitation always bad?
Not necessarily, but when you say that God can't do everything,
Are there some limitations which are good?
not for God, no, because then he won't be all powerful. God can't be limited.
Are there some limitations? No.
But from whose perspective? For who though?
No. So
For me or God? Us or
you are meaning that limitations.
for bad, for
Limitations
God,
mean
it's bad, yeah.
limitations mean being against all powerfulness.
So that's all right.
Limitations
Yeah.
is equal to against of all powerfulness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because if God has limitations, then he won't be God.
Yeah. So you are equating limitlessness is equal to powerfulness.
No, I'm not creating them. That's God. In fact, I'm doing.
No,
the
you are
opposite.
doing that.
No, I'm saying the opposite.
You are saying no.
The moment you limit God, you're saying that's being not God, because you cannot limit God. That's your understanding of this is
Power and limitation opposite to each other.
each other.
So that's not how we define limitation and power. Power is different thing. Limitation is a different thing.
If that would be the situation after he limits himself. Yeah.
Do you believe God is perfect?
But, one second, let me just ask this because I think we just.
No, this is related. Perfection, an attribute of perfection.
I'm saying that's.
Think about it. Do you think that God is perfect or God is imperfect?
God is perfect, yeah.
Is he perfect all the time?
Yeah.
Okay. So the moment you have limitation in God, like less power, does he remain perfect?
No, because
If the moment think about it. The moment you introduce being ignorant in his knowledge, that's being imperfect. So perfection will now decide against being less powerful. You can't bring powerful to say God is God because he has power to do all things. I'm bringing against you his perfection. His perfection will make sure that God doesn't become less than all powerful, less than all knowledgeable, because he's perfect. His nature of powerfulness, his nature of being perfect will ensure that there is no kind of deficiency and weaknesses and limitations. Being less powerful, being less knowledgeable, these are all weakness and limitations. If you affirm God is perfect, then you have to abandon all of these things that you're thinking about. Let's leave it there. I think that's a point to reflect on.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's nice talking about.
Nice to take it to you, Samuel. You take care. Perhaps we can talk another time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.